everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship here from Rome in Italy. This is the place where gladiators used to do battle, and here today 24 electric gladiators are about to hurtle around a street circuit with the massive threat of rain playing a factor. I can't wait to see what's going to come today, and I'm sure everybody else can't either, as race is getting underway in around about 20 minutes time. Now, let's get into where we are on the calendar. It's the third of currently 8 confirmed races in the 2021 season. We're here for a double header in Rome before going over to Valencia for rounds 5 and 6. Monaco, currently now at round 7, has been confirmed as being a full layout track. That's looking even better. Marrakesh is currently now predicted not to go ahead. Explains the new double header at Valencia and here. And also then we get round 9 and 10 now coming as well from the traditional Morocco. Not from Morocco, sorry, from the traditional part of the circus as well, when we're supposed to be going in Santiago in Chile. In terms of the Drivers' Championship then, coming into this race, it's Nick de Vries leading the way on 32 points. Winner of the first round of the season, and round 2's winner of Sam Bird in second on 25 points. Robin Freins, Eduardo Mortara, Antonio Felix da Costa, Mitch Evans, Oliver Rowland, Rene Rast, Sergio Sette Camera, Pascal Verline, Nico Muller, Oliver Turvey, along with Alexander Sims, Grassi, Stoffel Van Dorn, the drivers with points paying positions. Everybody else still yet to score points in the opening 2 races of the year. In terms of the Teams Championship, well, Jaguar Racing has got a 4-point lead over Mercedes EQ at the moment after their races in Saudi Arabia. Virgin Racing looking good from Dragon Penske, and the only team without points are from BMW I Andretti Motorsport. It was an interesting opening session of the day. All the action got underway precisely this morning, actually at 8 a.m. We had to be up in the commentary box at 7 here in the United Kingdom. But here's what happened in practice 1 and 2. So here's what happened then in free practice 1 for the 2021 Rome ePrix. Lucas di Grassi went fastest overall on a 1:38.785. He was followed by Stoffel Van Dorn, Robin Freins, Sergio Sette Camera, Norman Nato completing the top 5, followed by Nick Cassidy, Sam Bird, Oliver Rowland, Jake Dennis, Mitch Evans, Jean-Eric Verne, Nico Muller, Alex Lynn surviving a horrific accident last time out at the Diriyah ePrix in Saudi Arabia, where he flipped over backwards as well. He has got a new survival cell and a new battery and power unit changeover as well because of that excursion off the track. Then it was Max Gunther, Antonio Felix da Costa, Nick de Vries, Oliver Turvey, Andre Lotto, Rene Rast, Alex Sims, Eduardo Mortara, Pascal Verline, Tom Blomqvist and Sebastian Boemi all setting the running orders. Everyone completing around about 17 or 18 laps around the track as well for the 45 minutes. It's a very different circuit to what we're used to, but the biggest surprise actually came at the end of the session. Now, the finish line and the start line here are separated like we had in Diriyah, but this time it's by over a kilometre. They're exactly at opposite points on the track. The start line is at the exit of turn 6, where the finish line is at turn 19, obviously the last corner. So it's a bit different because they have to negotiate it where the pit lane is, and where the pit lane is, it wasn't good enough for a actual grid start. But I bet the FIA were regretting the fact that it might not be good for a race start where they've currently positioned it, because at the end of the first practice session the drivers were lining up at the start line to do their practice starts as they always do, but then all of a sudden Oliver Turvey, with no warning that they were doing the practice starts, came flying through at about half speed and slammed right into the back of Jake Dennis in the BMW and Jean-Eric Verne in the DS Chachita, and almost went flying. A massive accident, front wheels completely blown off the front of Oliver Turvey's Jaguar. It was spinning round and around and around as well. Sorry, the Neo 333 for Oliver Turvey. But yeah, front wheels off, rear wheels damaged. DS to Cheetah with a damaged suspension. John O'Verne getting out and holding his neck as well with the impact. Luckily, everyone's okay. Jake Dennis as well with a broken suspension at the rear. Now, they managed to repair Jake Dennis's car going into free practice 2, and Jev got out for qualifying. But Oliver Turvey hasn't actually managed to get out since and will start this race 24th and from the pit lane because it was announced during qualifying he has been given six penalty points on his FIA racing licence for that accident in practice 1 at the end. So if he gets 6 more, race ban. So a big accident. Lucky everyone was okay, but the start line in an absolute mess, and it called off the start procedure test for everybody. So it was quite a dramatic free practice 1, but only at the end as the drivers wiped the sleep away from the run, got down to business. Here's what happened then in free practice 2. Free practice 2 was basically a write-off. It's a 30-minute session. The drivers only got to use 14 minutes. A curb down at turn 13 chicane area came loose. It triggered a flag procedure, and there we were in a state of temporal grace almost for half an hour waiting for information, but nothing came. So the session was called off after drivers completing a maximum of 3 laps. So nobody got a full power run in the end. Free practice 2 very much a write-off, but it did help for Jake Dennis. He never lost too much running either. He was almost ready to go if the session was going to restart. Unfortunately, it didn't. So it left Maximilian Gunther on top in a situation that isn't really representative going into qualifying. From Nick de Vries, Stoffel van Dorn, Ollie Rowland, Nico Muller, followed then by Nick Cassidy, Mitch Evans, Pascal Verlaine, Sam Bird, then Antonio Felix da Costa, Sebastian Boemi, Lucas de Grassi, Sergio Santecamera, Rene Rast, Alex Lynn, Alexander Sims, then followed by Norman Nato, Eduardo Mortara, and then Andre as well out there with Robin Friends. And not setting a time, obviously, it was Turvey, Verne, Dennis and Blomqvist. Blomqvist not going out because of the red flag, but Turvey, Verne and Dennis still having their cars repaired from the accident in free practice 1. So for the second session running, the drivers really had no practice. They got a decent running in free practice number 1, but they got no start. Haven't done a practice start in either of the 2 sessions because it got called off. So the drivers going into this race don't know how the car's going to react off the line. Now, with the rain coming in as well, there is a possibility the race might start behind the safety car, which is upsetting, but understandable in these conditions as well. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen. But yeah, a very uneventful free practice 2, and again, it just makes it more exciting going into qualifying and especially into the race. On to the final. There is your starting grid, and there's my pretty little commentary notes that I have to work out throughout the session as well, just so that we know exactly who is who and where going into the actual with qualifying 1. And we'll Fries, de Vries, along with Bird, Mortara, Costa and Evan. Mortara did out onto the track but missed the checkered flag. He now does not qualify and will start this in 23rd place. Antonio Felix da Costa managed to get through, finished AP5, followed by Evans, Bird, de Vries and Friends topped the original part of qualifying 1. They would eventually slip down to their original starting position. Friends was eliminated in Q4 by Gunther, so Friends now starts his 7th, he starts 8th, Bird starts 11th, Evans starts 12th, Costa is 8th, Mortara is 23rd as well. Going in qualifying 2, in that session we saw Roland, Rast, Sete Camera, Vine, Muller and Turvey. Now Turvey we never ever saw because of that massive accident with Neo in free practice 1. The car wasn't ready, so he has as well from the pit lane a penalty for crash. So he's got a on his license and he has to start the race on the pit lane anyway. So not a great race so far for Oliver Turvey coming into this weekend. But it did see Oliver Rowland go top and stay top in the group stages of qualifying. He topped Group 2, Group 3 and Group 4. Also rode through, but Verline got through into P4, got eliminated. He started this race in 9th. Sete Camera qualified 7th, started 16th. Muller got in P8, starts 17th. Rast had made a mistake down here, 13th, cost him down to P10. He starts just. And Oliver Turvey, as I said, 24th, but starting from the pit lane. Now, Group before the rain started to come down ever so slightly, saw the biggest amount of change. And let me was massive, because Lotterer, Van Dorn, Degrassi and Vern, 2, 3, 4, 5, they held those positions going into Group 4. They got through to Super Pole. So an amazing run, which only sees Sims and Dennis, so that's Alex Sims and Jake Dennis, starting 15th and 20th on the grid. They originally qualified 11th and 15th. They swapped over as well. And what happened in Q4, which saw Max Gunther get through at the last possible moment. He went P6, so that kicked out Boemi, Lynn, Nato and Blomqvist. Boemi starts 10th, Lynn starts 13th, Nato is 14th, Blomqvist is 19th, and then Nick Cassidy was going to be on for a top spot, but made a little mistake out of the last sector and then stopped down at turn 14 as well with a broken suspension. The session had to be delayed for quite a while, so Cassidy out and starts 22nd. The running order for Super Pole took us like this. It took us to Gunther, Vern, Degrassi, Van Dorn, Lotterer and Rowland, going out in that order. Van Dorn went out first and got a decent run and went top at the benchmarker time as well. But then as well we had Gunther, very bad on it as my phone starts ringing at the side of me in the commentary box. Yeah, how about that? Going on it then as well, Van Dorn managed to get position, a fantastic there. Lotterer was P2. Rowland, who was the last driver to go out, had a fantastic run but touched the wall out of turn 13 chicane, and then we thought, did he actually? And then he certainly did whack the wall hard coming into the last corner at turn 19 as well, and damaged the rear suspension, and that dropped him 4/10 behind. So that put Rowland third. It should have been a pole time. Degrassi 4th for Audi after going strong. Vern 5th for DS Techeetah. Great recovery after missing FP2, and Max Gunther qualified 6th but has a 5-place grid penalty for contact back in Saudi Arabia. So who does that promote up? Robin Frines. I told you, it gets complicated trying to work out everything for this race. So, on the grid, this is how it should look. It should be Van Dorn, Lotterer, Rowland, Degrassi, Vern, Frines, De Vries. Then we see Verline, followed by Boemi. Then we see Bird. Then it's Gunther, back down in 12th as well. Then it's Evans, why didn't they ask Evans? Followed by Lynn, Nato. Then we get the 15th of Sims, followed then by Sete Camera, Nico Muller. Drop down as well. Then we see Da Costa, followed by Blomqvist as well. 20th on the grid is Jake Dennis. Then Rast, followed then by the drivers of the pit lane, Cassidy, followed by Mortara and Oliver Turvey. What a crazy qualifying it was in Rome. Let's now cross over to the commentary box as it's time to get going for the Rome ePrix. And it's very much fantastic as well for this one. In the commentary box, alongside myself, Joshua Burch, I'm delighted to say for the first time on the channel, we actually have a guest commentator for the race. Very much a Formula E passionate and very much into esport racing as well. We had him on in pre-season testing for Formula 1. Alongside myself, Joshua Burch in the commentary box, I'm delighted to welcome Edward Hunter to the commentary box for round 3 of the Rome ePrix. Let's cross over now to the commentary box. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box. Hopefully it'll be a bit smoother now from what it has been in the past couple of minutes. The video frame rate was way too high. But as we look upon the city of Rome, we're about to do battle where gladiators of the past raced around little dirt stadiums. We're going to race around a whole new venue for Formula E, and electric vehicles are the way of the future. Alongside me, Joshua Burch, in the commentary box, I'm delighted to welcome Edward Hunter. Hello, Ed. Well, this is fantastic. An actual commentary for a race together, finally. Let's not count the e-sport race we did last week. But how are you doing?
Very good, thanks. I think it's fair to say that you did the vast majority of the e-sport race at Suzuka the other week. So, and I missed the very end where all the exciting stuff happened because I went to bed
Everything,
and you stayed up. So thanks very much for that.
That's a pleasure.
Anyway, here I am, hoping to return the favour. And as you say, yeah, here we are in Rome. No chariots this time in the middle of dirt stadiums, but a rather different form of propulsion. Like you say, very forward-thinking. Some great drivers, some great teams, and it's great. I've not seen any Formula E races yet this season, so this is all very new and exciting to me. Whereas other people had probably seen it before a month ago in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Stoffel Van Dorn on pole, Andre Lotter alongside him, and Oliver Rowland just behind. Almost got both of them, but ended up damaging the steering and just coming to grief at the last corner and damaging the rear of his car. It's thankfully been repaired now, so it's three guys we should watch out for at the start. But let's not forget, obviously, the championship contenders, Sam Bird, Nick De Vries, Robin Freins, a bit further down the order.
Absolutely. It's all jumbled up ever so nicely to get ready for this one. It's the third round of the season. We now know there's going to be about 10 races. Doubleheader here in Rome, doubleheader in Valencia, and then going as well, we will go for at least a race in Marrakesh if it happens before the full Monaco Grand Prix layout, and then 2 races in Santiago, Chile as well. We're just looking at the top 5 on the grid at the moment. Verne starts 5th, De Grassi 4th on row 3. The second row sees Rowland and De Grassi. Row 1, though, as you said, though, Ed, Van Dorn versus Lotterer. And I said, texted you before the race started, Andre Lotterer, my tip for win, because for so often he's been the bridesmaid. Can today he finally break the wedlock and get the bride position? It's looking good. The track out there, damp in places. And I think you've got news from Sam Bird from before the race started.
Oh, they did an interview with Sam Bird just before the race started, yeah, where he was asked about he was asked about the sad passing of Prince Philip, which of course he was obviously everyone's very sad about, and he paid his respects on that front. But also he mentioned that the first corner, it's very wet. There's been some rain in between qualifying and the race, and it's not completely dried out yet. So because the draining isn't very good on the new tarmac, so it'll be interesting to see if people have to brake a bit earlier.
You're right, Ed, because Scott Elkins, the race director, has just come on the radio and has said that the race will start behind the safety car. And that
would be the new mini safety car, I think.
Yes. Well, I've seen BMWs and minis, but yeah. So the race will start behind the safety car, which I think is the wrong decision. But then again, I know where turn 1 is, and it's coming up to that chicane. So the race will start behind the safety car. So they're all pulling away now from their dummy grid positions back through turns 19, 18, 17, and 16. So right through the square section, and we're having to wait to see what will happen, because whether or not the safety car will cross the line and the race will start, or it will be like a Formula 1 procedure where they'll trottle around for a couple of laps before getting the 5-light procedure. So we'll have to wait.
It's interesting. They just showed some onboards, and Lucas Di Grassi was wiping off the side of his cockpit a little bit about the looks of things, and they kept saying Nick De Vries, his hands completely solid. There's a bit of droplets on the top of that Mercedes as well, I saw. So it's going to be interesting to see if the weather stays the same or if the rain starts to pick up at any point.
And the safety car is now out on the track. They are waiting to start the clock for when they come across the finish line. So we will not start this race at the start line. We'll start this at the finish line, which I suppose makes that little gap a little bit more annoying. And sorry, Ed, I was looking forward to having a great race lights out with you. But for only the third time in Formula E history, we're going to start behind the safety car, and the green lights are on. So this race is effectively go. And the safety car, to which I haven't seen yet, is following around. So Stoffel Van Dorn leads the way from Lotterer, Rowland, De Grassi, Verne, Freins, De Vries as well. And I can see why Scott Elkins has chosen this, because as you said about Sam Bird as well, it is wet in one place, but we're just coming through the back half of the track, and it is indeed the mini safety car leading the way through. with in my opinion, the training shoe tyres of orange. It's a bit weird. But the safety car is out and the race underway, and it does look very wet around the back half of the track. So the races go, and now we'll have to wait for a green flag start.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's an understandable decision where race direction just being very cautious. Obviously, the last thing they want is a pile up at the first corner that takes half the field out. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. We've had that enough before, especially Burn. Yeah, Burn when the race started and then kamikazed into turn one.
That was mainly because of the first chicane at Burn, which is less of a problem here with this new layout at Rome. I'm very behind. I've just seen the safety car on the screen. So I'm about 30 or 40 seconds behind you, Josh.
We're just on 40. We've just ticked over to 43.
React too late to things. I'll pretend I'm seeing what you're saying exactly at the same time.
Don't worry, it's fine. Synthol in the group chat saying, "Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm fine. How are you, Ed?"
Pretty good. It's been snowing, oddly enough, early here. Now it's cleared up in Yorkshire. I'm not very far from where Oliver Rowland is, actually, in terms of... Well, closer than I would normally be anyway in Yorkshire. So I'm kind of supporting him. I know my dad might be as well. But also Dad is a big Jaguar fan, mainly because he hit midlife crisis and bought a Jaguar. So
That's the way. That's the way to do it.
It does come with its benefits, though. If you ever go to a good festival of speed, if you show the Jaguar sound, your Jaguar keys, you do get to go upstairs and have coffee there. So.
Oh, very nice.
So there's a small but very important perk.
I'm going to have to borrow some Jaguar keys and just flash them next time I go.
Yeah, you might have to. It might be like those fake Rolexes, you fake little Jaguar keys. Try and fool them.
Synthol says, "I don't really understand Formula E. Are these extra boosts or something I'm not sure about? I'm pretty new." Well, we have the attack mode, which can be activated twice for 4 minutes at any time during the race. And then we have the fan boost, which is an extra 50 kilowatts of power that can be voted for by the fans themselves. And I think the voting closes with half an hour to go of the race. And Senthil also asks, why safety car? Oh, it's raining. Yes, safety car out because of the track conditions. So that's why we've got the safety car start, which is
fan boost still open at the moment. I'm voting in it.
I never do. I try and vote impartial.
Oh, of course, yes, naturally. So even better that I don't, even though I'm wearing a massive Jaguar shirt.
It's all right. I'm wearing the colours of half the grid, so we're fine with that.
That's true. I do have a very generic Formula E cap. I'm not sure if that's going to be very helpful.
Oh, well, the cap would be better, yeah. Look at that. Safety car in this lap. We're going to go green.
All right, there we go. And then we're fooling around then.
Yes, finally. We'll get the race.
Boost, I believe, being led by the usual suspects. Van Dorn. Yeah. I think Van Dorn leads it. I think...
Bird and DaCosta got up there, actually, quite early on in practice.
Yeah, Bird and DaCosta. And I think also Nick Cassidy had just
got in there,
bottom in the 5th position, which is the last of the positions where you get, like, a boost. It's odd. Van Dorn always gets like 30 or 40%. Everyone else gets like single digits if they're lucky.
Synthil says, Ribosome says, good afternoon to you. Oh yeah, there is also the new safety car. In my opinion, the old one was better. I agree.
Oh, well, they alternate, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think BMW are doing it all season, but at Rome, it's the Mini. There we go. I've just got the same message as you now. Safety car's coming in, so I'm not all that far behind.
You're not indeed. And we're watching as Van Dorn now comes through. The safety car messages have finally come up on the stream as well. So Synthil says, fan boost doesn't sound too fun. Imagine with F1, Verstappen would always win the fan boost. Fan boost is a bit of a controversial one, isn't it? But we're coming to the green.
Yeah, we can talk about it as the race goes on.
We're gonna be to the green flag as well. So the Rome Prix round 3 of the season at racing speeds is about to begin. They're coming through the last couple of corners. The green flags are out, and the race now is go. Van Dorn already well away. No one immediately going to decide to go for an overtaking spot, but Lotta is a bit too close further behind. Only 0.5 of a second, so Van Dorn tried to burst away. Didn't pay off. Lotta is right behind him. He's got now 1.6 seconds to Roland. Roland's dropped back a little bit as well, but they're all still Constantina up as well as, big lockup from Van Dorn as well, sliding to the back, and Neo looking up the inside as well, braking, and it's Sam Bird actually in the Jaguar up the inside of Boemi. As the Neos further back as well, just Constantina back into themselves as well. Clean start, and the only position change is Bird for 9th. And Boemi up to P10.
Yeah, there we go. So good opportunities from Sam Bird. Now, interestingly...
Oh, they're touched! Sorry, the 2 leaders have touched! And off goes...
Oh, no.
And Lotta is in the wall, right in the front of the middle of the pack. And Van Dorn's gone straight on. And it's carnage. It's absolute carnage down at turn 18.
And this is why they started under safety car, I imagine.
They
oh dear, oh dear.
And now that promotes Ollie Rowland to the lead of the race, and they're all tiptoeing around now. The field now separated by about 4 seconds. Van Dorn very angry over the radio. Rowland leads a second ahead to Degrassi. Vern now down to third place as well. The gap now pretty much spread out in this drama. I think Lotterer might actually be out of the race. Rowland's under investigation already for a power overuse, and Lotterer has fallen right down the order and I think has got some sort of broken suspension.
I've just seen a replay of that. Lotterer just went down the inside where there wasn't really a gap and pushed Van Dorn into the runoff.
Yeah.
So, and he's damaged the car in the process. That front wheel does not look very, very stable.
We've got that yellow flag back out now on the track as well, and it looks to be permanent. So, Rowland leads, but is under investigation for power overuse underneath the safety car start procedure. So that could promote Degrassi to the lead. Attack mode has...
John-Eric Verne and Freins fighting for the championship, of course.
Yeah.
At the moment. So this is really playing into Robin Freins' hands, actually, in the overall picture.
Freins running third in the championship on 22 points. He stands to have a good day today, doesn't he? Green flags are back out.
There's a Mahindra that stopped by the side of the road as well.
Is a Mahindra? Well, there could be Sims as well. Turvey's back in the pit lane. Mortara is just come out of the pit lane.
Did Turvey ever leave the pit lane?
I don't think he did. I don't think Turvey has left the pit lane.
They're still working on it.
Yeah, so
the referee team.
So let's have a replay again. So you're right. Lotterer just sends it up the inside, and he has broken the front suspension as well. And, well, in my opinion there, Van Dorn couldn't really do much there, and it's under investigation as well for causing a collision. But in my opinion, I don't think there was much Van Dorn could have done.
Yeah, and Mortara, still having started at the very back, is still stuck in 22nd position ahead of only Sims, who stopped mysteriously by the side of the road.
You're right.
Seems to have got going again.
Yeah, it was Sims. So Lotterer's P7.
It's a real shame there. I think Lotterer was my tip for the win, but a bit too aggressive there. And I was thinking this was going to be a very tense game of who was going to go for attack mode first out of Van Dorn and Lotterer. But Lotterer went way too early and has come to grief as a result.
It's changed the complexion of the race. So Rowland now leads.
That's a very Murray Walker quote.
I didn't even try that one, but you're right, yeah. So now 1.5 seconds the gap. Rowland has to Degrassi, but Rowland himself under investigation as everyone just starting to get their tyres up to temperature. Jake Dennis coming under pressure.
I was just thinking of the replay of the accident, and Lotterer, as he rejoined, very lucky. The rear of his camera showed Bird going right on top of him almost as he was rejoining. So Lotterer has continued on in 7th, so the damage isn't actually that terminal.
Which is great news, yeah. So it might just be cosmetic, though.
But he's lost the half. We saw the whole half of the wheel cover gone. So he's lost position to his teammate Verline then. So a very strategic move by Porsche there.
Tell you what, Rowland's having a bad time of it. He had that 1.5 second gap, but Degrassi's just switched it up a bit. He hasn't used any of his attack mode, but he's now within 0.4 of a second of Rowland.
Degrassi put a very neat and tidy lap together in Superpole and in qualifying, so he's definitely been outperforming that Audi a little bit, even though the Audi's a slightly more competitive car this season than it was last season, where they had a horrible time, didn't win a single race, but barely got on the podium.
Not one at all.
The first season, I think, that Degrassi didn't win a single race, season 6 of Formula E. So
yeah, you're right.
Everyone's saying fastest laps on my screen, but that's mainly because it's the first proper completed lap at racing speed.
They're flying through at the moment. It's currently with Da Costa's in 15th, a 1:59.57, but he won't get the bonus points either for all those fast laps.
That's correct.
Precisely, yeah. And now we've got sort of a train forming behind Rowland as more raindrops falling on the camera lens that we're watching at the moment, dropping down the hill. So after 3 laps of running, Rowland now leads the race, and it was only lap 2 that it wasn't led by Van Dorn. So that was a very quick changeover. So
Van Dorn, by the way, for those interested, has got going again in 12 positions, fighting with Mitch Evans.
Oh, well, these two had battles back in Saudi Arabia as well, so that's going to be one to watch. Although, let's just make sure that Bird and Lynn are not near each other, Bird's 8th, Lynn's 13th. Them two kept coming together in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Lynn has got to get past Evans and Van Dorn if he wants to catch up to Sam Bird.
Oh,
and even then he's got to get past Buemi too.
My order keeps changing on the timing screen, and I'm not too sure why. It showed Roland dropping, but now he's okay. Still in the lead of the race. We're watching him, but the
transpond, that might be a transponder thing where it's just not picked him up properly.
So is it raining, says Synthol. It's spitting. I think that's the most English thing we could say. It's spitting with rain.
Well, it was sort of hailing down and then it turned into snow earlier where I am. So
anything can happen.
My perspective on weather is very warped. It's been 3 seasons at least so far today. A couple more seasons to go, I think, before the day's out.
And Roland has backed the entire pack up now. We've got Roland, Degrassi, Vern, followed then by Fried and Degrassi.
Okay. So what is this, Josh? Is this Roland trying to save energy then? Because it's such a long run from like the first corner through to that the place where Lotterer crashed earlier.
He's going to lose it though because Roland has been given a drive-through penalty for power overuse under the safety car. So the race leader now becomes Degrassi. So Degrassi's going to he's just been informed over the radio, just heard it in my ears, that Degrassi now knows Roland has a drive-through. And this is going to infuriate him even more that he can't get through. Again. Attack.
Yeah. So Oliver Roland's going to have to come in within about 3 laps to serve that drive-through, isn't he?
Mercedes.
Meanwhile, John Vern is going to get closer and closer to the back of that Audi, isn't he?
And I think Van Dorn just took attack mode and he's got passed by Gunther. Or just about, actually, as Norman Nato was going to have a go around the outside. Hasn't worked out that way. Roland's been given the drive-through penalty, and he's come into the pit lane now. So, precisely on lap 6 of the race, Degrassi takes the lead. We've had 3 lead changes in the space of 6 laps. How about that? That's a new one.
Yeah. I think we have Andre Lotterer to thank for that, mainly. But also Roland being a little bit... careless, perhaps, under the safety car. It's one of those things, the energy spikes, where it's such a technical infringement that it's very hard to prove, as I'm just looking at Van Dorn going for attack mode. I think he missed the first entry, but it didn't matter. The second one is the one that matters, of course.
He picked it up just in time, as right now we've got Vern, who started this race, by the way, down in 5th place, trying to go around the outside of Degrassi to the same place where just a couple of laps ago, Lotterer dive bomb Van Dorn. It's still working side by side. Degrassi shuts the door. They make contact ever so slightly. Just a little bit of camera damage there for Vern. And no, something across his front wing just passed in front of the camera, but the front wing is still on. It's still fine. So now everyone finding the conditions just a little bit more treacherous. And forget the Truly train. It's the Degrassi roundabouts. It's unbelievable.
You were saying it was the Roland train earlier.
It was the Roland train. Now we've got the Degrassi roundabout. I'm just waiting as everyone flicks through the 12-13 chicane that they had to change after practice 2. And of course...
If Vern takes the lead, we're going to have to think of a new name for this. So.
Oh, God. We've got a yellow, turn 7, so I don't know where that is. Well, we know where turn 7 is. It's the start line, and it's Sergio Sette Camera, who has stopped right in the centre of the track. I don't think he's in a runoff. No, he's not. And he's got going again. So a quick Control-Alt-Delete, and he's got back on the track, which is great news. A side-by-side dive bomb, Lotterer again, this time forcing out the way of Sam Bird. Bird nearly getting passed by his teammate Mitch Evans, and Buemi trying to go around the outside as well. Lotterer really enjoying the dive bomb as it's starting to rain now down on the back half of the track. One more with Sam Bird.
Andre Lotterer would have learned his lesson by now, Josh.
I thought as well. He just keeps dive bombing right up the inside. He's already got part of these front wing gone, so it looks more like the Gen 2 Mark II it should be at the moment. Oh, big lock off from the back. The Evo car. That's it.
The one that was cancelled, yes. I'm just looking at set a camera static and pre-recorded image of him like shaking his hands and his head.
I know.
But Van Dorn is making good progress. He's just got past Buemi on my timing screen.
He has, yeah, up to 9th place as well on that attack mode. Lynn, Nato, Roland and Sette Camera have all taken attack mode as right now...
in fact, I've just seen him get past Buemi at the last corner. He was while Lotterer was fighting with the Jaguars, he took advantage and just slipped underneath Buemi.
I missed that, so great spot there. I was looking further back, so See, that's what happens when it's good two co-commentators on the screens as well, because you
Also,
can't
one
focus on
that's
everything.
got a slightly delayed stream.
Yes, yeah.
Due to I just look at Nick De Vries letting the rear tyre slide out. That was quite exceptional car control there.
De Vries, the championship leader, running P4 at the moment as well. So I'll keep trying to take a look at the YouTube chat, but there's so much happening on the track. So let's just take a quick look as well. Synthol says, I think it was Van Dorn's fault. And Ribozone says, Lotterer was inspired by Kvyat. And Synthol says, damaged front wing for someone. Well, keep an eye on who that is. I think that might just be for Vern, though, because we saw he touched the back of Degrassi. That's Lotterer.
I'm not sure what's holding Lotterer's front wing up at the moment. But on one side, it seems easy to tell him and Verline apart from a distance, though.
Easily, yeah, and that was it. As Van Dorn now runs out of attack mode, Synthol was actually on about Lotterer with the front wing damage. Yeah, as you say, that is Andre Lotterer, who made contact with Van Dorn on lap 2, and I do not know. Look what's holding that on, because looking at it, it's rocking from side to side, and the car looks undrivable into a few corners.
It reminds me a lot of Paris last year when Robin Frines damaged the front wing and it was barely holding on.
Yeah.
Not last year, but season 5. Sorry.
Yeah, before
we
last.
We Paris last year for obvious reasons, but
everyone's slipping and
Look
sliding.
like Boemi just going for attack mode as well.
Yes.
And he's activated, so he's going to try and get past Van Dorn for 9th position.
And he's lost out to Lynn, though, and Gunther. But yeah, Gunther hasn't taken attack mode, so Boemi's going to go after the front there to try and get past Evans. As now we see Vern right on the back of Degrassi, and we're finding that after the bump coming into turn 8, everyone's losing the rears ever so slightly onto regen. So it's wet out there, but it's not wet enough to affect the race. It's that crazy thing that Jack Nicholls says about how we can never properly have an actually wet Formula E race. It's always a bit dry, it's always a bit damp, but I think he said it in Paris a couple of years ago that we finally had one.
Well, it helps, of course, that they're all-weather tyres, so they don't have to change them if it rains. That makes strategically a bit of an easy job. You just got to worry about the energy management and also braking in time for the corner, as Andre Lotterer showed a way of not doing that earlier.
Penalty!
But, to be fair, he did have a Mercedes in the way.
Yes, he did, yeah. Van Dorn just sort of turned in, but Lotterer shouldn't have gone for that dive bomb. Sergei Camera has got a drive-through penalty for power overuse. His day just goes from bad to worse.
Power overused by standing still. That's
I know.
A new one.
That's a ridiculous one. And Muller is under investigation for the same thing. So everyone's been caught out, it seems, by that safety car and the bumps around this track, as you said, Ed, because of the overuse of power, the power spikes. And as we come over now, Vern is getting closer and closer. But I'm smelling a Frines victory here. He's right up there. Yeah, he's right up there to have a go.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was a little bit unlucky in qualifying. I think. Oh, it was Cassidy who was really unlucky. Who basically stopped.
Cassidy was.
But he was. I think Robin Frines was in the first group and he set a really strong time. But then because the later groups had better track conditions, he inevitably dropped down to about 7th. So most of the drivers in the top 8 all got 2 attack roads remaining. Apart the first one who's used it is Van Dorn, of course. So I'll be interested to see strategically how this plays out, because I think that's going to determine the outcome of the race now between the 3 leaders.
Frines locked the rears and almost slid off into the wall on the opposite side of the track coming out of turn 8.
That's not going to help his case. You seem to put the curse on him.
I know. I'm gonna try and remain quiet, but we've got actually the fan boosts at the moment. They're just making official on the monitor that have come up, and it was Bird who was in there as well. So Bird has got the attack mode as well as set a camera. Nick De Vries, Antonio Felix da Costa, and Stoffel Van Dorn. So they are the 5 fan boost winners. Set a camera, Bird, De Vries, da Costa, and Van Dorn. Well, Van Dorn keeps up his 100% record of winning every single fan boost since he joined the championship, which is great news. They're all coming round the roundabout now where the attack mode is. No one going for it. Buemi and da Costa are about to lose it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's Rene Rast in 15th going for attack mode. He's got Norman Nato 2 seconds ahead, and a second behind he's got Jake Dennis. Perfect time to go for it.
It would have to be Rast because the other Audi's in the lead. So
yes, that would be a good point. That's a great point. It would be Degrassi. I wonder why that took me a second to process. Strange things that happen.
Set of cameras in the pits serving his penalty, or he's probably just come out now, knowing how far behind I am.
and out of the race is Alex Sims. So Alex Sims has now officially retired from the race, down in 23rd place. So that Mahindra that stopped on the road.
That makes 2 retirements because Turvey has still not left the garage yet.
Turvey hasn't after that contact in practice 1. Bird throws up the inside of Lotterer, and this time at the same corner that Lotterer hit Van Dorn, Bird makes a better manoeuvre and got through easy on the inside. So that's Bird 6th, Lotterer 7th at the moment.
Well, that's the ebb and flow, isn't it? Lotterer is using a lot of energy earlier, and now Bird has decided to use some up of his own rather than just stay stuck behind Andre Lotterer. Which is probably going to be helpful for his race because he can chase Verline now.
And we just thought, John-Eric Verne was going to go for a dive bomb onto Grassi up the inside. He hasn't done so. But at the moment, this is reminding me more and more of a Moto 3 race rather than a Formula E race because they're all sticking together. There is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think around about 12 cars back to Alex Lynn who are still in contention to win this race.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Celeste in the 4th season, where De Grassi also spent a lot of the race holding up. I think it was the other way around, actually. It was Verne who was held off De Grassi pretty much the entire race, despite the Audi being a little bit faster. But now, this time...
Verne's gone for attack mode.
The other way around.
Yeah, Verne's gone for attack mode and has come out right in the centre with the battle of Bird versus Verline. And Lotterer touches the back, and Lotterer touches the side of Bird again. And, well, Lotterer was sort of pinned in with Evans alongside him. And luckily, no contact. But Lotterer is really out there playing dodgems today. He just hitting everybody. And that is Eduardo Mortara out of the race. So Mortara's out.
Yeah, Mortara was not making much progress from the very back. So he's just gone into the pit lane to retire, I think. But yeah, no love lost between Lotterer and Verne, the old teammates, I guess. But this is the cheater being the first to pull the trigger, really, for attack mode. And so it'll be interesting to see if this works out for Verne or if he gets held up in traffic. He's
just slipped through on the inside of Verline for 4th place, but he's got a lot of cars in front of him at the moment with De Vries, Freins and De Grassi running in the championship. De Vries 3. And, well, to be fair, let's not talk about where De Grassi is in the championship because I don't think he's that far up. Look, he's down in about 12th place, so let's not talk about that.
Well, he needs the points, that's for sure.
This is the beauty of being round 3. Everyone is still up for grabs as well, and with De Vries not scoring any points really last time out in Saudi Arabia after winning the season opener, it's kept that battle nice and close. So I'm watching Bird as well, P6. Bird.
What I think is interesting is the sort of unreliability we're seeing with some of these cars, like the Venturi, of course. Like with the Mahindra, these are not the cars that have introduced new powertrains for these races. These are the ones running their powertrains they were running in Saudi Arabia. So it's interesting that they're not. That it seems to be already we've still got 22 minutes and a lap left in this race.
And that's Freins going for attack mode, and I think he missed the first defense. No, he got it just. He was very deep going in. Freins gets attack mode, so does De Vries, but Bird didn't go for it. Now he's jammed in the middle of everybody, trying to negotiate the corner. So Verne already had attack mode. He's back up to 2nd. Freins and De Vries have gone for it as everyone getting a bit too close for comfort down towards what would be, looking at it, turn 17 and 18. Just before the start.
Freins was closing up to De Grassi before that with Verne out of the way. So.
And here we go once again. De Grassi still leads the race. 21 minutes now to go in the race. That'll give you an idea of how far you are behind there, Ed. It should only be about 40, 50 seconds, I'm thinking.
Yeah, 40 seconds, I think.
As Van Dorn pays back Lotterer and slips up the inside. And this time they didn't come together, so that was always something I was a bit worried about. Looks like Buemi's got a little bit of damage to his front wing. I don't know, when you get round to seeing it as well, it looked a bit damaged when he went over one of the bumps as well, as we got a yellow out somewhere on the track. It's gone green now, but everyone at the moment getting a little bit too close for comfort. Lotterer again trying to go into Verne, and Lotterer is in the wall. Lotterer is in the wall again.
Oh, not again.
But I think he's just got away with it. He's actually removed the damaged part of the front wing. That was a nice little kiss on the front, and he's only removed the bit that was damaged. Perfect.
Oh, that's convenient. I'm not sure that was entirely intentional. But...
No, he literally locked up, and now he's been passed by Gunther. So Lotterer's locked out there on attack mode as well. So Gunther's gone back through. Gunther hasn't used any of his attack mode yet. Neither has De Grassi. And with 20 minutes to go, I'm sensing that Degrassi might go for it, and he is. Degrassi goes for it. And that now gives the race to Jean-Eric Verne to lead, and it's dropped Degrassi down to third place. Coming through, Bird goes for it. Gunther has now gone for it as well. And interesting enough, Van Dorn has taken his second attack mode already. So Van Dorn's not happy where he is. He wants to keep going forward. So now, our
that could
fourth
leave
lead
Van Dorn
change.
vulnerable in the latter stages if everyone else has got one remaining and he hasn't.
So lap 13 of the race. It's now Verne leading the way. Our fourth lead change of the afternoon. And Degrassi... and Lotterer has been given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Stoffel Van Dorn. So there goes his afternoon.
Yeah.
It's even more
there
done.
we go. So it wasn't exactly going to plan for Lotterer anyway, but that adds insult to injury.
Oh, and Evans getting very close to the back of Bird.
Sort of hero to zero stuff in Formula E, can't it?
Yes, very much so. As Bird has passed Evans, but Evans nearly clipped the back of him, coming around the back of the track. And here comes Frines. Frines going for it. He's on 2 laps of attack mode. Big lock up for Verne. Does he manage to get stop to the corner? Yes. And Frines had to back out big time. And he's just set the fastest lap of the race on a 1:44.272. So Frines on attack mode. As you said, Ed, he's now got a clear advantage with Degrassi gone back to get after Verne and get the lead of this race. Verne needs attack mode again.
Yeah, I was just seeing smoke coming from the bottom of Lotterer's tyre as he went over the bump. So clearly his car, not an ideal thing to drive right now. As Bird holds off Evans, actually, a bit further back down the field.
I know that was a fantastic little shot there. It's rocking on the opposite side as well.
I think just past Evans because Evans hadn't used attack mode yet.
No, he hasn't. Evans hasn't used attack mode, and he's actually got less usable energy than Bird. Evans is on 47, Bird's on 48. As that's going for attack mode now, Mitch Evans, who now takes attack mode.
So Verne is sort of in a position where he just has to hold on until Frines' attack mode runs out.
Which is about 20 seconds time. So he's going to hold off just as Muller has received a 5-second... Muller has received a drive-through penalty for power overuse.
This is not a good afternoon for Dragon, is it?
Oh, and Verne squeezes Frines into the wall almost, and Frines desperately trying to go through as they cross the control line. Now that gives Degrassi the attack. Frines is out of attack mode. Degrassi goes to the outside. It's almost 3 abreast, coming down towards turn 7. Degrassi lunges up the inside. They're going to make contact, and Degrassi forces his way through, and that's now displaced as through goes Nick de Vries up to 3rd place, and Frines really angry on the radio as he now nearly gets hit by Bird.
That's playing right into De Vries and Bird's hands if they're fighting each other.
And Frines is not happy at all as they cross the start line down towards turn 7. He is not happy at all with Degrassi. Degrassi literally a dive bomb move, and Degrassi with 2 minutes left of attack mode is now right on the back of Verne, and he wants that lead back. Degrassi, as you said, going for his first win since season 5. And that was 3 years ago.
In season 5, yeah. I think it was the last one that he won. Degrassi was so nearly hit the back of Verne as he was setting up the move. And Frines, sorry, not Verne.
Yeah,
he hasn't quite caught up to Verne.
Well, he's nearly there.
Look at the back of Sam Bird. The rear light on Sam Bird's Jaguar is waving all over the place.
Evans dives up the inside and gets through on Lotterer. No, Verline, sorry. As Verne goes for attack mode, Degrassi leads. And that drops him down to 3rd.
So Verne was holding on for as long as he could, but it was only a matter of time there until Degrassi got through.
It's just swings and roundabouts here in Rome.
But
Unbelievable.
This is playing into De Vries' hands perfectly. He's managed his race extremely well and been able to jump Frines, his championship rival. And Bird isn't too far behind either, so Bird could be a threat later on.
Degrassi's now lost attack mode. Verne on the radio. And Verne has been warned on the radio that there's a risk of an extra lap, and so he's got to save energy. So that's a worry. 2-minute lap here, 1 minute 44.
Yeah, that is going to be the key watchword at the end of the race, making sure you don't run out before the line. You see a couple of people coasting in the last sector, I think.
The 2 Jaguars just having a go. Bird trying to pass Frines, and Evans trying to get past Van Dorn. Evans on attack mode and is all over the back of the Dutchman, as still looking left and right. Verne now trying to get through on De Vries as well. Is it an all Dutch team there at Mercedes? I can't remember. Because De Vries...
No, because Stoffel Van Dorn is Belgian.
Belgium, not Dutch. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've swapped the 2 drivers around. As now, at the moment, we're seeing De Vries really under attack from Verne, and everyone now, after dithering with attack modes, is now back together again. Nobody at the moment, though, has used their fan boost, but Van Dorn up there in 6th does have it to defend from Evans, who's only got 60 seconds left of attack mode. And De Vries has been told to close the gap to Degrassi at the moment, but in the meantime, Van Dorn has went very late as Degrassi goes for attack mode. De Vries now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th leader of this race as it's all concertinaed and diving up the inside.
Right behind him.
Bird's past Frines, and now here comes on the inside as well. Van Dorn wants to get through. Frines really falling down the back now. As well, De Vries leads from Vern. Degrassi, who's just on a new attack mode, as I said. So it's all changed. 1 lap after 1 lap.
Yeah, so Van Dorn has used both his attack modes now, so he is a bit of a sitting duck at this stage of the race.
How many laps left? 13 minutes and 52 seconds. That gives us round about another 8-9 laps if we keep at this pace, as it's all going further back as well. This time, though, Van Dorn way out of shape trying to brake. Regeneration of the energy as well. Not going that great. Sliding the rear tyres out too much. Evans still very much under pressure. Da Costa becomes his first use of attack mode. So he has now used it to either get past or defend as Vern throws it up the inside. And Vern leads in Rome as Degrassi touches the back of De Vries. So there we go again, and Dennis hits it this time! And dry ice falling out the back of the Mercedes. That's an unusual one, but literally, Degrassi hits the back of De Vries and dry ice falls out. For anything you don't need in Rome. I think they've been down to your neck of the woods.
Mercedes keep their cool, don't we?
I think they've been down to your neck of the woods as well to get some snow.
Picked up some sleet and snow, yeah.
So lap
Most
60.
of it's melted, so I wondered where it gone.
Yeah, Vern's got it. As well.
Da Costa's just used his fan boost not too long ago as well.
Yeah, and he was trying
down in 12th position.
I think he was trying to defend from Rene Rast looking at that on monitor as now 3 cars using attack mode. De Vries, Bird now comes out as well in big trouble with Evans just alongside. So it was De Vries, Bird and Frines, and would you believe it, Frines comes out the worst of it, dropping down to 8th place in the middle of this, as Vern now loses attack mode as well.
I think the Degrassi De Vries thing, that was the white bit at the front of Degrassi's front nose cone. At the back of the we saw falling out at the back of the
it's hard
Mercedes,
to keep track.
So.
Now we're watching at the moment Sam Bird going for 4th place to get through on Stoffel Van Dorn. And he's going to the inside. Van Dorn tries squeezing in. Bird's on full power. Trying to swing round the outside. Van Dorn's got the braking zone, though. Down towards turn 18. No chance getting through there. And really, Bird has now got to think championship. He's got to think of the way to go. A question quickly. Do you think this is his year to get through with Bird?
Sam Bird, it's certainly a great chance at Jaguar, but it really depends how things play out. Because the problem with Sam Bird is we look at Norman Nato, he's got loads of advertising hoarding stuck to the side of his car.
Yeah.
But I think the problem for Sam Bird, and I'm just rewatching him desperately trying to get past the Van Dorn.
He's got through.
I think the problem is that it's very much 0 to 0 with Sam Bird in some of these races, that we either see him make brilliant moves or he clumsily ends up getting caught up in incidents, and that ends up making him lose ground and lose momentum in the championship. So I think it's a case of Bird is a really big talent, but he just needs to keep it clean.
We've got a yellow at turn 7. As soon as I say that, we've gone green again, so I'm not sure what that was about. But at the moment, Bird has passed Van Dorn. He got through on the inside, and Frines has passed Verline. He went through around the outside as well, so that's a nice move. Going through on attack mode now, one of the Neos of Buemi and the Audi of Rene Rast have gone through without losing too many positions.
If it's a Neo, it would have to be Tom Blomqvist, because he's the only one
Blomqvist, yeah. And it was Jake Dennis out. Jake Dennis is out of the race as well. He stopped down at turn 7. So
Dennis was fighting with Nick Cassidy, who had just got by him.
It's starting to rain once again, though, as Degrassi just runs out of attack mode. He was trying to pass Vern while doing so. Hasn't paid off. So now these two, with 10 minutes to go, have to do it on themselves. And it is Jake Dennis. Just look down at the other monitor with the driver tracker and confirms it is Jake Dennis out of the race.
Yeah. So it is quite hilarious how there are various cars that have just got bits of advertising hoarding stuck to them. I think, the Gunther's got a bit stuck in the sort of his right front ring, and we've got Nato, who's got basically half an advertising hoarding he's dragging along with him. And I wonder if that might have caused Dennis's retirement as
if
well.
it's got caught around the wheel, and we've seen that happen before in the drivetrain as well. Incident involving cars 17 De Vries and 11 De Grassi under investigation. So De Grassi, who's currently going after Vern, could be investigated as well. It's all going off in Rome, isn't it, for Formula E?
He sort of rather clumsily hit the back of De Vries, so yeah, he could be in trouble for that one, but we'll have to see.
De Vries could be up for a win.
I don't think they would blame De Vries for it.
So the top two in the championship, De Vries and Bird, running third and fourth at the moment. Vern's under investigation. De Grassi's under investigation. This is working out perfectly for them. It's a four-way fight with 9 minutes to go at this race. As Bird looks to the inside, almost gets his wing chopped off by De Vries, who went to chop off the corner. And these two running a bit close together now as we now leave the city centre.
Mitch Evans is holding up Van Dorn, Froins and Verline behind him.
Yes.
So that's allowing Bird to sort of break away. Although Van Dorn, I think, is ahead of Evans, sorry? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Van Dorn's fifth. Yeah. He's got three as well.
We've got a Mercedes Jaguar, who are both fighting in the Constructors. Let's not forget the Teams Championship, rather.
It's all going
so
off.
They're fighting each other on track at the moment, and it looks like it's at the moment.
Oh, and Bird lunges it! Bird up the inside at turn 4 and takes third position away from De Vries.
Well, I retract that then.
Brilliant, just late dive bomb, completely caught De Vries by surprise once again. And De Vries, former Formula 2 champion from 2018, being outscored by the champion of 2008 GP2 series. It's brilliant, this one.
Is he?
I think Bird was, yeah.
2008? I thought he was runner-up.
Oh, was that Pantano? Was it Pantano?
You're thinking of Giorgio Pantano, who's never driven in Formula E.
Pantano sort of just disappeared away, didn't he? Yellow out again, turn 7. It's gone green, though, so whatever that was, it was brief. Evans been now on the radio. And Evans being told he's 1% down, and it's Da Costa. I think it's Antonio Felix Da Costa, as he has dropped down to 17th place. And he's made a big mistake.
Yeah, Da Costa was running 10th before that, so... Yeah, and Buemi has been making some ground. He's up to 8th now.
Evans lunging in at the hairpin, and I think he's just squeezed through. That's the first proper overtake we've seen down at the hairpin. Evans has passed to 3, so it's Jaguar 3-4 with the top 2 right there with Vern and De Grassi. This is getting tasty.
Jaguar have got a decision to make. Are they going to back Evans or Bird? Because if they fight each other, they could potentially lose a shot at victory here, or another space on the podium.
They've got 4 points of advantage to Mercedes in the team's championship, so they need to make a choice now, as you say. But they might get a 1-2 here because
Bird is right behind them. I think. I think they should hold off at the moment and just let Bird attack De Grassi.
Yeah, because De Grassi's going for it up the inside for the lead of the race, and he's through. Vern let him through completely there. Didn't even try to defend. So De Grassi takes the lead of the ePrix, and now...
They were telling Vern that he was low on energy, didn't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Once again, De Grassi leads on lap 20. This is getting unbelievable here at the moment about the amount of change we've had. Writing Vern down as well as... everyone just getting a bit kamikaze effect. Evans is now P4 with that attack mode he's got left. So Vern's going to start dropping down.
Evans has also got the fastest lap.
Yes, he does. 1:42.387. So it's De Grassi leading. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm not
5,
sure
6,
which
7,
way this
8,
is
9.
going to go. Is this going to go De Grassi, Vern, or Bird? I think it's either going to be De Grassi or Bird at this rate.
I run.
Unless Vern is doing an amazing job energy saving.
Yeah, I keep my own lap tracker, and I'm nearly out of page on the screen. That's how much it's getting at the moment. It's unbelievable the amount of lead changes we've had. And of course...
I think this new Rome layout has been a success so far, apart from a couple of narrow places where Lotterer couldn't quite complete moves.
Yeah, down
in 12th, by the way, Andre Lotterer. Van Dorn has recovered up to 6th there.
Van Dorn was the most impressive to get back. I think if it happened in the midfield, that accident, they would have been out of it completely. So they have done well immediately to get back up. But what lap?
I do think Sam Bird has done well to recover from 11th on the grid to get up onto the podium.
Yeah. Where is he? Yep. 11th on the grid he started. I'm just looking down my notes as well. Bird was 3rd in Q1, dropped down to 5th Q2, 9th in Q3, 11th in Q4, as you said. And he's done amazingly well to do it, as attack mode now being used by Van Dorn to get through on his own teammate at De Vries, and De Vries almost making contact with his own teammate. You saw him jolt the car.
Let's not forget De Vries championship leader.
Yeah. So now,
So
and De Vries has it as well.
Something going on at Mercedes that's not team orders. By
Oh,
the sounds
that's
of it.
Degrassi! The race leader slowing! Oh, we got a big accident on the start straight! That's going to bring out a red flag. We've got Degrassi almost sort of slowing, and now, who was that flying off the road at turn 6 as well? We've got carnage everywhere. Degrassi stopped on the track, and it's Van Dorn who is backwards on the start-finish straight, in the wall, and this is now triggering a full course yellow with 4 minutes to go.
Pandemonium.
Vern leads, but he's got oh, Bird was trying to take the lead of the race, but the full course yellow called. Degrassi has stopped on the track, and flying into the wall was Van Dorn.
Well, with less than 5 minutes left of the race to go, could that be Vern's win decided then?
Yeah, surely.
Yeah. Oh, look, so Van Dorn was going around the outside of Degrassi and just completely got it wrong.
Yeah.
On the outside where there was no grip. The rear went, and I think De Vries was desperately trying to avoid it as well. He may have got caught up in that too, but disaster for Mercedes and for Audi.
And that is a big accident again. The second time today on that start-finish straight, and Degrassi's pulled off. Degrassi's out of the race. And, well, is it the fact that these cars have not been used in 2 months that we're now seeing this sort of level of retirement? Safety car now out.
It's a new track, I think. We can't discount that fact as well.
Sorry to kind of cross you. The 2 Mercedes are actually in trouble, as you said, because now Van Dorn got lost on the advertising boardings, but behind that as well, De Vries hit the wall. So you're right. I missed because look, there's Van Dorn spinning.
De Vries is down to 14th then.
And De Vries just whacked into him at the side and into the advertising boards. So that's dropped him, as you said, down into 15th place. And the safety car now out to end the race just as it started. Because there was an awful lot of damage down there. We're on board now, so...
We might not get going again.
No, I don't think we will. Oh, and that was just so unlucky for the 2 Mercedes. Just coming together because, once again, just like this morning, actually, in practice 1. No, he didn't. And that was just like practice 1 this morning. Slow car on the inside and big accident. And the second time today, it was Degrassi involved. Because Degrassi was sort of just standing back when flying through came Turvey. So, this might... Well, I'm looking at it. They might decide, if they do finish behind the safety car, they also have an option, like they do in the British Touring Car, is to red flag and just call it that because we're past 75% race distance. So to control the field and allow a clean-up, we'll wait to see if they decide to throw that or finish it behind the safety car. Because the problem with finishing behind the safety car is you've got to release the cars so they can cross the line without having the safety car in front of it. So, 22 laps complete. It's not
going to help Mercedes, though, if the race ends now.
Yeah, not really. Whereas
that's going to lose them the championship to Jaguar.
Big time, yeah. Big time. The gap coming in was 4
also
points.
Put Sam Bird in the lead of the driver's standings if it ends like this.
Yep, and oh god, this is big. So they've lost the drivers' championship lead with De Vries, and they've lost more than 4 points to Jaguar. Jaguar are going to dominate both championships.
And this is played out that way, all just because of where they came upon Degrassi. The Jaguars came upon just before the sort of apex of the corner, but Van Dorn was having to turn and sort of sight Degrassi and his teammate at the same time. He just got on the slippy stuff, the rear lap went, and it ended up taking out both cars.
Bird is calling for a red flag.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and we've had another spinner. Another spinner down there.
Norman
Dennis,
is collecting all of the advertising hoarding in his front. No, that doesn't look safe. That gets caught on the tyre.
Just had to stand up because I'm not sure. I didn't know if we were streaming or not because our service just crashed. So welcome back on air if you've just missed us for the past 30 seconds whilst we're away. We've got 40 seconds left of the race and... Actually, we missed absolutely nothing, so it's just my monitor.
Yeah, I think Stoffel Van Dorn is still getting out of the car.
Yeah, he's
we've
just
only got a minute left of the race, so and another lap, of course.
Yeah.
So it is possible we'll get going again, but it seems unlikely at this stage.
Bird.
So Gunther was the other guy who spun towards the end. He spun at the same corner.
That's what I'm looking at for ahead of tomorrow.
Lucky not to avoid anyone, to avoid one as well. So.
I'm looking to see as well if they may change that before tomorrow and just see if they can slow that corner down. Vern Vern is calling for a red flag. Bird is calling for a red flag. So they're both calling for the race to stop. And I think the reason
they would,
is
because they're up front. I bet
Yeah.
if you go down to, say, Robin Frein, Sebastian Buemi,
Yeah.
who's got up to fifth somehow in all of this, they probably wanted to keep going. They probably want to restart.
Vern on the right.
But yeah, I just noticed Gunther having to reverse into the wall there, slightly damaged his tail lights. So we got Bird and Gunther with damaged tail lights.
Yeah, Gunther did crash, yeah. So now this has all changed the complexion of the race. 17-24 out of the race. Unbelievable, that one as well. As let's see, it was
only 16 cars still running. Both Dragons just gamely holding on at the back. Oliver Rowland is still going.
Roland, I think, is the miracle runner of today. And the race,
but he had the penalty.
The race,
Roland could have easily have won this one, to be fair, if he had not oversped under the opening safety car.
And
so he'll probably be kicking himself.
He's had a bad day.
And it all went away from him.
The race will end behind the safety car, is the information we've been given. So that's it. One more lap to go. And just as it started, it will end.
Burn has ultimately just been the luckiest one.
He has been so lucky today to get this situation to win this one. He looked he looked into it.
I do wonder what went wrong with Degrassi's car there, because I think Degrassi had him.
Yeah.
But if Degrassi didn't have him, then Bird had him. So yeah.
I'm just counting.
Burn is really good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lead changes. But in terms of drivers, we had Van Dorn, Roland, Degrassi, Vern, and De Vries. So we've had 9 changes for the lead, but only 5 leaders. And that is a lot for one race. So Vern going to win his first race since the 6 races in 9 days in Berlin, which I think he's going to feel nice.
Round 9, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He beat Gunther, didn't he, last season?
Just into the line, didn't he? This is.
I feel really annoyed now because I predicted Lotterer to win before the race.
I said the
weekend.
same. Yeah.
And my friends at Formula Isa and Jack Jornada and Jack Pickering both predicted that John-Eric Vern would triumph, and that's what's happening.
Do you think
none of us predicted Bird would win.
No,
I think because they were all starting like the first group, so the Jaguars have recovered very well. They'll be starting the first group tomorrow, of course, as well.
Yes, in championship order. So for tomorrow's race, is going to be a bit closer. And I'm really hoping that there is rain predicted for tomorrow as well. But I'm hoping we're going to start lines 5 red lights go, because this race has been chaotic, but it's been starting and ending behind the safety car, so it's not been that great.
Shout out to I think a few drivers. Lotterer has held on despite the damage to finish 9th. Max Gunther, despite starting right near the back, he had a penalty that he had to serve after qualifying 6th, and having that horrific looking spin, he lost a few positions, but he was able to collect it up, and now he's going to finish in 10th position, just denying Nick Cassidy a first point in Formula E. And Cassidy was doing a great job of energy saving too. He's got like 2% more than a lot of the people around him.
Safety car.
A lot of. There's a lot of disappointment out there, mainly more than triumph, because Vern has just survived in the lead rather than winning this race. It feels like, but a win is a win, as they say.
Absolutely, only taken the lead 3 times. Looked into it once. The safety car is out of the last corner, goes to the line. Jean-Eric Vern makes it 3 different winners in the opening 3 races of Season 7 of ABB FIA Formula E. Jaguar recover brilliantly, 2nd and 3rd. Bird ahead of Evans. What a day, and what a way also, as they said, to honour, before the race started, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, who passed away yesterday morning at Windsor. Unbelievable race.
Indeed, yeah, I really enjoyed that. And must admit, Prince Philip was not at the forefront of my thoughts on most of that race, unfortunately. There was so much going on. But we should, it's always sad when anyone dies, basically. So I think we shouldn't lose sight of that, definitely. But yeah, great drive by Vern just to hold on, really. And we'll have to see how it goes tomorrow as well, and how that ends up in the championship. I have a feeling that Eduardo Mortara can hit back tomorrow, because he didn't get to do a lap today, and he started the back of the grid and then retired. So if the Venturi's more reliable next time, we could see Mercedes and Venturi get some revenge, I think.
It's going to be a great one, isn't it? I can't
As
wait for that.
Lotter actually dropped out right before crossing the line, actually.
Oh.
So Nick Cassidy does get the point.
You're right.
I'm not sure what happened to Andre Lotterer.
Lotterer, on my timing screen, has completely vanished. I can't see where... Oh, he's P16.
He's 16th, so he's got right behind the Dragons. So I assume his car just conked out right at the end.
5 seconds added on to his time for unserved penalty.
He never got a chance to serve it.
He never served it, yeah. So that's why and with the safety car bunched up, he's dropped behind. So Cassidy gets a point. He's first in Formula E after starting this race 22nd.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was so unlucky in qualifying. I think Cassidy really had to fight through to get that one.
Yeah. Unbelievable race. So Ribozone says, doesn't matter if it's F1 or F3, the Italian Grand Prix is going to be chaotic. Yep, it really is.
It's middle of Rome, like Joshua said in the intro. This is where the gladiators used to fight, and there was a bit of fighting on track today, wasn't there?
I didn't expect that much. I didn't expect that much to be of gladiator fighting.
Vibra by the side of the track, most of it Mercedes shaped.
And still from this morning, actually, the same colour, isn't it? Because them and Neo share the same paint livery, which really annoys me in the box because trying to figure out which one's a Jaguar, which one's a Mercedes, which one's a Neo.
Helps if you look at the logo. You've got big Jaguar on the side, you know.
I can just spot the Jaguar coming through. I always go for the numbers on the front of the wings, but even then I can't see them at some point. But yeah, not a bad race. 3 different winners in 3 races, and the fastest lap has gone to Mitch Evans, a 1:42.387, as I think you picked up on about 20 minutes ago before the chaos happened.
Yeah, just as he got past Van Dorn.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, Vern Bird Evans.
Yeah, Rene Rast actually did a very good job to finish 6th in the end in the other round. So picking up the pieces. And a good little recovery drive by Rene Rast, who didn't have a great qualifying as well.
And the safety cars had to lead them through for another lap to come back to the pit lane. So the normal cool-down lap hasn't happened the way it would. But
is this because Lotterer must have gone in the pit lane?
Yeah, Lotterer has gone into the pit lane, and he's in there now, and he's already out on the track. So everyone else now had to form back in. And the unusual thing about this pit lane here is that, in fact, it is in a loop section. So it crosses over at the middle, a bit like what we see in Paris. So we've got cars on either side of the garages now. So let's see how they're going to do this one, because I didn't think they would all be coming in at the same time. And Sete Camera, for the second time today, is under investigation for overspeed under the full course yellow. It just gets worse.
Oh dear.
Come on, he's already out of the race, isn't he? No, 15th.
No, they're not. I think they did finish, but not in the points, sadly, for Dragon.
P15.
I like the radio message to Mitch Evans there, where I think he just said, "Yeah, man," and then it cut out. Nothing.
Yeah, just...
It might just be because I've got you turned up much higher than the world feed, Joshua, so
that
I didn't hear anything.
That could be it, yeah. I didn't hear anything. But actually, Jean-Eric Verne seems to have broken out of the pit lane and is now on the Roman streets. This is the strangest little run to the podium ever seen. He's right in the middle of one of the Italian motorways and is now being taken into Victory Circle, which is about...
A slightly surreal situation with Rome in lockdown, of course, at the moment.
So no fans.
I'm sure they'll be hoping for better times ahead. But yeah, it's just gone some old groggy bit of motorway, and that's where our podium's going to be, ladies and gentlemen.
I do like that this is actually the first proper street track we've had since COVID hit, because
they've done a great job Formula E to actually get this race running at all.
Because
we had Vallelunga, I think, was going to be the backup if they get permission to race on Rome.
Have you heard what the backup is for Mexico City if we can't race at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez? It's the one that was at World Touring Car Championship in about 2009. It's an oval circuit but with a tight infield, but turn one's an oval.
It's good that they've got contingencies in plan. I wonder what the contingency is for London, because I'd be very surprised if they get that at the end of the season. But anyway,
I'm hoping
the sparklers all around where the podium is. The podium looks the same at every round now.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing.
This is just like Berlin, the setup they have there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. I'll go back to that point as well. Berlin isn't really a street track. It's an airport. Saudi Arabia isn't really a street track. It's more like Bahrain with barriers.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They put a racetrack on as an afterthought.
Yeah. And this is like the first one since, not even Marrakesh, because Marrakesh is, yes, it's on the middle of a motorway, but that's built permanently for the touring cars. So this is the first one since what was the race? It was Mexico, wasn't it? Not even Mexico was that. So this is the first proper street track I think since season 5.
Since Santiago was a street.
Santiago. Yeah.
I think that was one just before Mexico.
Yes, that was it.
Gunther one, of course.
Yeah.
In last season.
I couldn't work out which one was which. So here's the results then. Up on the screen and alongside here in the driver tracker for your watching. So this is the results. It's Jean-Eric Verne who's taken victory from Sam Bird second and Mitch Evans third. Robin Friends fourth, Sebastian Buemi fifth, Rene Rast sixth, Pascal Verlaine seventh, Alex Lynn is 8th, Max Gunther 9th, Nick Cassidy is 10th. That rounds out the podium. Sorry, the points, not the podium. Long podium if it was. Tom Blomqvist is 11th, Norman Nato 12th, Oliver Rowland is 13th, Nico Muller 14th, and Sergio Sete Camera 15th, and Andre Lotterer dropped down to 16th place in the end. Out of the race, Nick de Vries, Lucas de Grassi, Stoffel van Dorn. Bad day for Mercedes. So de Vries did retire in the end. Then it was down to Da Costa, Dennis, Mortara, Sims and Turvey. And Ed now looking like Emperor Palpatine a second ago when it was all blacked out.
Sorry.
It's all right. I looked over when I was doing the results and I thought, oh, it's Palpatine. So then, Ed, what did you make of that race?
Helm was a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It went
not
well.
Ideal. This is normally where I would be. But anyway, entertaining race.
Yes.
Definitely feels, like I said, that Verne just held on. I think if there hadn't been that accident there, that Sam Bird probably might have won this one, and he won at Rome before, of course. But Verne, I don't think has won at Rome before. It's a bit of a bogey track for him in previous seasons, so I think it's still a good performance.
I think is this the first Brit?
It definitely sets things up well for tomorrow as well.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well because double header.
You want me to come back for tomorrow?
Oh, sorry.
You want me to come back for tomorrow, or you got someone else lined up?
You can come back if you like as well, because I'm not sure what the reserve is, because the reserve is my dad, who isn't exactly he's not exactly in top shape at the moment, but you can come back tomorrow if you like. He's all right. He'll be all right, but it's the usual thing that he has to sit down in the box a lot, so he can't stand up as much. But yeah, if you want to come back, you can come back. I feel like I've robbed you of a sort of a decent race. I mean, that was great, but with not the usual Formula E banter about it today. So yeah, come.
Well, there wasn't a lot of strategy. It was incidents constantly happening.
Very good one. I can't wait. So go on then. Who's your driver of the day?
Interesting. Just looking at the BBC footage where Alice Powell's saying these cars are hard to drive. I don't think I've seen Alice Powell do very many tests in a Formula E. Oh, that's not fair. There was one test she did do in Saudi Arabia when they had
that was
female
the
driver's
one.
test.
Yeah.
I think she drove for June, if I remember correctly. But yeah, who would be my driver today?
Yes.
I think I might go a bit out of the box and go for. I think Gunther.
Oh,
I think I might go for Gunther because it was sort of a survival race for Gunther as well. I think Verne and Bird are probably the most obvious choices. I think Evans also did really well as well to hold on and get the fastest lap, which could make the difference come the end of the season. So it could be a real close fight between the Jaguar drivers, the Mercedes drivers, Jean-Eric Verne, and potentially on the evidence today, Lucas de Grassi as well could be in there if his car can get to the end of the race.
Yes.
It would be interesting to find out what happens to de Grassi, because I think that was another good performance by him too until that happened at the end.
He gets a new challenge tomorrow when he gets another qualifying and another race to go forward.
Only one practice session before it. So
45 minutes.
That, Neo will be having Oliver Turvey can get to the end of the practice session this time without hitting anything.
Oh, God, yes, please. And that's one thing that bugged me as well is actually, now, I've picked up on this in the pre-show. Practice 1, we had that massive crash when everyone was trying to do practice starts and nobody could do it. Practice 2 got called off halfway through. Qualifying, you're not allowed to do practice starts. The race here started behind the safety car. They haven't actually done a standing start yet today.
No, they haven't.
So I was wondering if they were going to start behind the safety car anyway, just to avoid that.
It was chaotic anyway.
Yeah.
Without that, so that maybe lends some credence to that decision. To be honest,
I'm just looking.
Under the safety car.
I'm hoping as well that tomorrow we've got one practice session at 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK, so that's going to be a nightmare to drag out of bed for. But if we don't get a practice start at the end of that, they're going to go into the race tomorrow having done every session and a race completely blind to a standing start. That is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to see that.
It is.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
on.
I've just looked how I look now because I hadn't done that before, and yeah, Emperor Palpatine with a mustache.
We're on air, by the way, tomorrow at I think 11:40. We're on, yeah, 11:40. I've just been told. So yeah, 11:40 tomorrow. We're back on for race 2. Don't know who's in the comment box. Ed wants to come back. You're welcome to come back.
Well, that's good to know. I know when to show up now.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome and come back.
11 p.m. or a.m. Sorry.
AM, yeah.
That's
Not
too
PM.
late.
You'll be a
Wait.
bit. I'll be in the middle of a e-sport race.
Oh, you would, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be
knowing you, Josh, and your relentless commitment to esports commentary.
I tell you what, it's I'm doing loads and loads and loads at the moment, so that's gonna be fun. I think
Yeah, we'll
where
be
are we
needing
tomorrow?
your help when we do Le Mans in 30 days
yeah.
time or so.
Le Mans is gonna be fun. I can't wait for Le Mans. I can't. We're just waiting for the podium, which is taking ages because they're deciding to do interviews at the same time. Although it's BBC, so the podium could have already happened. For those of you watching elsewhere, and we wouldn't know because they do have a habit of pre-recording the interviews.
No, I think this is probably a case of them doing the interviews before the podium because that's what they normally do.
The one
It
thing,
could just be the care again as the second.
the one thing that really bugs me though is the BBC is that they insist on getting and doing their own pre and post show when we've got a team on site doing
well, they
all
don't
of
do
it.
that for the races that are just on iPlayer though. This
No,
is only
they
just
don't
for
do that,
the
yeah.
BBC Two races, which are only a select number.
Mm.
And of course, with the season sort of being as we go, kind of decided what the calendar's going to be. It's hard for the BBC to sort of book rounds in advance to put on BBC Two, I guess.
I've heard Monaco's going to
It would
happen.
be nice it would be
Yeah.
nice to have more rounds on BBC Two, though. It really depends
I got
on how things work out.
Yeah.
Sam Bird seems happy with second.
He
by the way,
does,
as we're
yeah.
watching him being interviewed, which is good to see.
I got the nod and the wink about Monaco being on BBC Two from a couple of sources. One of them is on BBC now. But yeah, so it looks like Monaco might be on BBC Two as well if you're watching in the UK, which is always good because I think Monaco, Formula E, full track, BBC Two, that's prime time television because it'd be 4 o'clock start there.
Yeah, it would be.
Coming up, though, if you're a fan of horse racing, we don't cover it because it's a motorsport channel. But if you're a fan of horse racing, in about an hour's time, we've got the Grand
a few less
National.
horsepower than we're used to.
Yeah,
just
just 1 horsepower. But it's a bit annoying actually this year because all the you play. Some people just play the Grand National for just the thrill of betting and cheering on the horse. Betting shops are closed in the UK. So you can only do it online. So we decided not to do it.
Pop off the paddy power.
Yeah, I've decided not to do it online. So me and the family, I say family, me and Megan, having a little wager between ourselves. We're going to pick 2 horses, and whoever's horse comes higher wins the pot. It'll probably just be like a couple of quid or something or other. But it's
I'll
nuts.
tell you what. You say the Grand National at Aintree. I just think of Sterling Moss.
Yeah.
And 1950s Formula One races there.
I got told to shut up once because I was saying that when they were on the Grand National because you can see parts of the track when they go through as well. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they do a few like club meetings there and stuff when the courses aren't awake.
Wouldn't it be grand? See what I did there? To have Formula E at Aintree as the backup.
I don't know.
That'd be good. I would
probably
like.
I prefer it to be at the Excel in London, given
Yeah.
it's the venue that I've been fighting for it to take place at.
You
ever
have
since
for ages, yeah.
2015.
After
I've been very consistent on that because I didn't think Battersea was the best place for it, and as it happened, couldn't stay there beyond the first 2 seasons anyway.
I didn't like
So
Battersea.
yeah, I'm really hoping it happens.
Yeah.
But it really depends on how the restrictions are. And it's still a Nightingale Hospital technically.
Oh
so.
yeah, it is. Yeah. Silverstone,
So
Silverstone National, Silverstone International was sort of a bit like, or Snetterton. I think that's up there, isn't it? To be one.
I think the problem is they don't want one that's too remote is the issue.
Yeah.
But they may not have much choice depending on the pandemic.
I mean,
but we'll see. It depends also if they can put in enough chicanes like they're doing at Valencia next time out. Let's not forget.
Are they putting chicanes in?
Circuit.
Oh dear.
They've got a chicane on the main straight, I think, but that's the only one, and they've got sort of truncated layout.
That's going to be interesting. I knew about the truncated layout. I haven't actually seen an image yet of the Valencia track, but they're onto the podium now with Vern, Bird, and
I'm
Evans.
just looking at Evans going on.
Yeah. Vern.
Evans, this is he won last time at Evans, so this is his second podium at Rome in a row.
Did he win last time? Oh, in Rome. Yeah, sorry, in Rome. I heard you say
Rome.
Rome.
First win in
yeah.
Formula E in
yeah.
Rome,
yeah.
yeah.
Patrick Dempsey's on. I can see Patrick Dempsey, who is a star.
Patrick is probably hoping that a Porsche driver got on the lottery. Although, like,
he's kicking himself now for it, but yeah, he's always got tomorrow. But yeah, Patrick Dempsey has got a stake in the Porsche team in Formula E as well.
Well, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, just a little stake because he raced with Porsche in GT-Am, doesn't he? And
I know he's raced with them at Le Mans and finished there as well. Didn't they get a class win one year?
Yes, I was commentating. Well, they got on the podium. 2018, 2018.
Of course you were commentating. Where
else would I be at Le Mans? I tell you what, though, I got very worried as the podium's going on as well. So if you're listening to that, you can turn us down. But we can't show any of the audio, which is really annoying because it's just the national anthem, but they've copyrighted them, so isn't that annoying? But yeah, I got really worried this year because the Canadian Grand Prix and the Le Mans 24 Hours were on the same day. So I got.
Yes, they were. So you can't exactly commentate on both. That's the sort of situation we need two commentators. Anyway, there we go. Le Mans Delay is just blaring out at the moment on my screen.
It's on mine as well. But yeah, that was the point. So for that,
I should take my hat off actually.
Oh yes, just bow the heads and everything as well. But I was always wondering as well. The fact is that there was going to have to be another commentary setup as well because I would be doing Le Mans and I'd have to get other people to do the Formula 1 race because at that point it was the sprint qualifying race that was going to happen, but they've shifted that now to Silverstone. So it's Silverstone, Spa, and Brazil, the three races they're now doing that sprint quali at.
It does feel a little bit unnecessary, the whole sprint qualifying thing, but we'll give it a shot and see if it's any interesting. I can't make the season any more boring.
No, I think it would be. I think
it's pretty
give it a try. Yeah, give it a try. See what it's like. Although,
by the way, I love incidentally how when they showed the flags on the Formula E podium, they showed Eiffel Tower in the background with the French flag. Big Ben in the background for Sandbird for Britain, and then for New Zealand they just panned over the flag a bit slower. There's no landmark for Mitch Evans, sadly. Shame, they should have put Taupo Circuit or something.
Yeah, I think we should have
Christchurch Cathedral.
Home circuit.
There's monuments in New Zealand, even just like Flight of the Conchords. I don't know.
The trophy's about to be lifted up at the moment. DS Techeetah, their first win of the year.
Chinese anthem. Playing for, of course, DS Techeetah, the Chinese team.
The first time they won, I think, was at Montreal a couple of years ago.
Season 3, end of season 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't know which national anthem to play, did they? Because the Techeetah were, I think, it was DS
Chinese
French,
basically.
Yeah, but it's
Seika company, I guess, or whatever.
So they didn't know which one to play, but they got it right in the end. And Vern and now going after a third championship. After
the team's going after a third championship, but Da Costa is
their reigning champion,
Da Costa's the reigning champion, so Vern wouldn't be doing a hat trick of titles.
I know, that's so annoying.
For the team, but not for himself.
The team, but not himself. Yeah, sort of like a Hamilton-Rosberg situation. Everyone's just sort of forgotten that. Yes, Mercedes won 7 titles. Yes, Hamilton has won 7 titles, but Rosberg won 1 in that little chink of armor. So everyone just sort of glosses over that.
I don't think we've seen. I think Da Costa will hopefully come back later in the season. He didn't have a great race today because his qualifying, he didn't get into that Super Bowl. I think he was in one of the earlier groups, if I remember correctly.
Which one?
He just didn't have a great qualifying. I forget which group Da Costa started in. But,
Group 1.
I think he started sort of mid-pack. Oh, he did. He was in the first group. And
I've got it on my notes in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah, so no points for Da Costa on this occasion, sadly. But still... there's always another chance tomorrow. Cheetah's a quick car, at least. Maybe not as quick as, say, the Jaguars and the Mercedes. But they have got their Season 7 powertraining, so I think they're still trying to figure out how to get the best of it. So this is a win on debut for the Season 7 powertraining of Techeetah.
That's
worrying.
Despite
the fact that it was not... Well, it wasn't a convincing victory. Vern just about held on. Like I said, it was strategic. And while everyone else was dropping off the road, as we look at the mayor of Rome, Virginia Raggi, I think, in the big... Or is that a representative, they're saying? I think it's Virginia Raggi.
I think it is. As at the moment, it's champagne time. Vern hits the bottle of mum champagne on the floor and starts spraying the team all around as well.
He's kissed the trophy as well, taking off his mask to do that, and now split it back on. This before he does the champagne.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't kiss the trophy in the middle of a pandemic.
It as well.
Yeah,
it's a really. I guess maybe the trophy's part of his bubble now, so they can't take it from me.
That's a fair point. I wouldn't do it. I've even got hand sanitizer in the commentary box.
Hold the trophy up and do the posing for the photo there.
I like the
Anyway,
photograph. Yeah, photographs.
It just feels a bit odd with everyone a bit far away. As Vern goes in front of the car so he can get to his team to spray him.
Complete spray and nightmare. Bird looks a bit glum. I don't know what it is at the moment. He's just come out now. I think he's smiling now, but
they're saying that the Jaguar team aren't celebrating because of Prince Philip's passing.
Oh, that is very respectful then.
Quietly leave. Oh, I don't know. It just seems
I know.
Seems a little unnecessary. I mean, it's not like the royal family people watching this. Let's face it.
They've got other things to do.
They probably wouldn't care if Sam Bird had a party, but because it was a good race and he enjoyed it. But I mean, obviously he might feel that there's that sort of responsibility, so which is fair enough. But I don't think it's fair to blast Vern and the cheetah team for celebrating.
Oh yeah,
they're posing for a few photos.
They're posing for a couple.
Not completely muted celebration, but just slightly more somber, given the circumstances. Maybe if they win tomorrow, Sam will be a bit more upbeat.
We've got a minute left on the broadcast before we get kicked off as well. So, Ed, thanks for joining us for Formula E today. That was a crazy race and a half, I have to admit as well. But as they've actually stayed down with Vernon and Dario on BBC, so they've mucked up there. But what was... Go on then, prediction for tomorrow. Who's going to take pole and who's going to take the win for tomorrow's race?
Oh, I've no idea who's going to take pole. I think Eduardo Mortara is going to win.
Brave.
I suspect someone else will get on pole and end up being him will have to overtake them. But I think Mortara has got something to prove. It was so unlucky to have that issue that just stopped him from setting a time in Group 1 because the Mercedes powertrain's quick. Mortara, we've seen what he can do before. I think he wants to add another win to his sole win from Season 5 in Hong Kong that he can get on track.
He didn't know. Yeah.
So I think Mortara is a great driver, and it would be great to see what he can do on Rome tomorrow.
That was the second time as well that Vern has looked into a race victory under a safety car. Sanya and here in Rome. There's a little stat.
It's true, Sanya Sims stopped us at the track with a damaged car, so yeah, he just about held on from Roland on that occasion. But Roland blew it himself this time. It'd be good to see Roland win tomorrow if he can. He'll probably be in one of the later groups again, so he's definitely got a good chance.
Absolutely. So, 3 different winners in 3 different races. Formula E is off to a fantastic start in Season 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:40 for all of the action from race 4 of the season. And my thanks to you, Ed, as well, for joining me in the box today. My thanks to everybody for viewing as well. What a race in Rome. The gladiators did battle, but it's the old Frenchman of Jean-Eric Verne still on top. Bye for now.